Okay, so this is my third video about the Steinberg UR22C. I bought it about 6 to 8 months ago. I just thought I'd give you an update. My first video was basically about my one niggle with the Steinberg audio interface, and you'll be pleased to know that I'm still really happy with this product. A few people have got back to me about and pointed out some comments and things and agreed with me or disagreed with me about my observations about basically my one niggle was, if you refer back to the first video, was about not being able to record the reverb applied to this, that you can apply to this directly into your DAW. And some of the comments were basically you can apply reverb afterwards in your DAW, and that's quite right. That's exactly what I would do. But it just seems slightly odd that you could record the guitar effects straightly into your DAW, and you could also record things like your compression and your EQ. And in some ways, I kind of think I was slightly wrong in my observation, though not wholly. I'm not kind of a binary person where I have to be, where I say yes or no. But I've been giving it some thought, and it's still a bit of a niggle. I think the option should be there to include reverb if you want it to. But in some ways, I think Steinberg have probably gone down the route of thinking, in a way, kind of educating people about saying this isn't really what you should be doing, and perhaps just giving people and steering people down a way that is a better way to do things without giving them the option. I still kind of think you could include that option in the software if you wanted to, whether you want to include reverb or not. But basically, when you look at how someone might record a song, and actually the effects in here are really very pertinent to some, I think most pertinent to a vocalist who wants to hear a bit of reverb when they're singing. I'll explain that bit more in my previous videos, but when you do that, it kind of slightly disassociates the singer with their own voice, makes them less critical of their own voice, and actually gives them a much freer performance. And I think that one thing occurred to me is that if you might want to include compression in, well, you probably would want to include compression when you're recording into your DAW, partly because the way that handles your waveform and what it does, it kind of knocks out the peaks and just gives a little more room for recording your audio at a higher level, if you know what I mean, rather than having to elevate it in your DAW. So there's a very good reason, I think, for not recording your reverb into your DAW, whilst also still being able to record your compression and your EQ into your DAW. That's not to say actually that you couldn't still have a little button in the software that says I do or I don't want to include the reverb directly. But I kind of think I can see where Steinberg's coming from. So there's still a slight niggle there, but I actually think the way they've gone, the route they've gone down is probably a good idea, in that not including reverb into your DAW, because it just does kind of educate people a bit, if you know what I'm saying. So anyway, I'm six or 8 months down the line with this interface. It's really, really useful. I think it's really good. It's actually come down a little bit in price since I first bought it, but you know what? I'm glad I didn't wait, because I've had such good use out of it, and I'm going to continue using it for probably many years to come. I think it's a great piece of kit, to be honest. I've never bought a Steinberg hardware previously, and I think it's definitely a good way to go. So there's my kind of third video, third reflection, and there you go. Thanks for listening.